Good evening. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler. Welcome to the weather map discussion for Monday, the 19th of September, 2022. It is really hard to believe how quickly the time is going in the month of September. I remember it seemed like yesterday we were just beginning the month, and now we're already into the latter part of September. It's really hard to believe. Picture tonight, getting you in the fall spirit here with a picture of some pumpkins with some leaves, some fall leaves there on the ground. And we're getting to that time of the year where those pumpkins are starting to appear as we get closer to October and those cooler, crisp mornings. Let's take a look at the weather map discussion now. We'll start off with a look at the infrared satellite image on the left. Anything in the green coloring yellows as well as the maroon and reds indicates cooler cloud tops. So in general across the United States tonight, we do have a few cooler cloud tops associated with a system there across Montana. And on the right hand side, you can see the radar image showing some showers across Montana up into parts of Canada, into Alberta. Additionally, we see some moisture generally into the southwestern U.S. from Mexico across parts of southern Arizona and New Mexico. And additionally, we have one other area of showers into central California just east of the San Francisco area this evening. Working our way towards the east, just one little lone cluster of showers that are basically across parts of northeastern Iowa there this evening. And there are some scattered showers. See these cooler cloud tops there in southern Florida. There's some radar returns showing up across the Sunshine State this evening. And one other area, more concentrated rainfall, there's an area of low pressure in the vicinity of Ottawa, Canada. And there's a lot of moisture that's coming in ahead of that low pressure system. So steadier soaking rains across parts of New England this evening, just north of the New York City area, but definitely hitting parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, a good chunk of northern and western Massachusetts as well, up into parts of Maine. Looking at the surface analysis for today, the 19th of September, 2022, showing an occluded low pressure system undergoing frontalysis, or a weakening or decaying front, generally off the central coast of California. So we do see some showers out ahead of this frontal system, which is some good news actually for that particular area of the country as they've been extremely dry recently. Additionally, we do see a frontal system snaking its way across parts of southern Iowa into parts of central Illinois, central Indiana, and basically ultimately working its way northeastward to an area of low pressure there in the vicinity of Ottawa, Canada, that I referred to up in Canada, producing all these showers and storms. We've got a couple areas of low pressure across New England this evening, and some steady soaking rains are occurring as a result of a lot of low-level convergence and rising air motion across New England. Generally across the mid-Atlantic states today, we're seeing nothing but very mild and muggier conditions, generally up the I-95 corridor. From Florida, working our way northward into the mid-Atlantic, there's a 1018 millibar high-pressure system off in the western Atlantic, with southwesterly wind flow on the backside of the high pressure. Now let's take a look at the forecast for the 300 millibar level, or the 30,000 foot level, for Tuesday, the 20th of September, 2022, with Tuesday morning on the left, Tuesday evening on the right. So by Tuesday morning, the 20th of September, there is an upper level low that is situated off of the Northern California coast. We do see a little bit of a jet streak, stronger winds at 30,000 feet or 300 millibars in excess of 90 knots up to speeds of 100 knots across the Bay Area and just south of that into Monterey Bay, the Salinas Valley, working its way northeastward. And the main jet axis continues to work its way into more of an anticyclonic configuration across parts of the central U.S. as there's an upper level high situated over western Texas tomorrow morning. On top of that long wave ridge, we see accelerated wind speeds with another jet max or jet streak across parts of southern Manitoba province of Canada. And then we'll see an area of troughing long wave troughing at 300 millibars across parts of New England, extending southwestward into Pennsylvania and into northwestern Virginia tomorrow morning. By Tuesday evening, we still see these areas of higher wind speeds, these jet streaks extending across the Golden State of California, and a strong upper level ridge. This is a strong upper level high, this long wave ridge, poking its way northward from Kansas up into the Dakotas by Tuesday evening, but a lot of sinking air motion beneath this upper level high there over the panhandle of Texas by Tuesday evening. We do see that troughing feature, long wave trough, once again extending over parts of New England and moving offshore into the western Atlantic. Looking at the 500 millibar winds, heights, and vorticity forecast for Tuesday, 20 September. Tuesday morning, what are we looking for? We're looking for these red colors or green colors or blue colors. That indicates areas of positive vorticity, relative vorticity. And whenever you have positive vorticity values, it generally tends to lead to upper level divergence as well as rising air motion from the surface. And that usually results in clouds and precipitation. So let's take a look at Tuesday morning. We do see some positive vorticity values associated with this closed low at 500 millibars just off the Central California coastline. In addition, we see some positive vorticity values across parts of south central Canada tomorrow morning, on Tuesday morning. And then we have another upper level low there situated over Vermont, New Hampshire by Tuesday morning. It's a closed low at 500 millibars with some positive spokes of vorticity rotating around it in a counterclockwise manner. In the central U.S., again, we have nothing but upper level high pressure reflecting a closed high, generally at 500 millibars over parts of Texas into parts of Oklahoma. You'll notice this feature in the southwestern Atlantic, and that would be Hurricane Fiona. And Fiona has some height contours tightly wrapped around her core by Tuesday morning. That's indicating a fairly strong hurricane at this point, and fairly strong winds, no doubt. Looking at the image here on the right, the forecast for Tuesday evening for 500 millibar heights, you still see this upper level low just spinning off the Central California coast with these areas of positive vorticity values moving in from the Pacific Ocean into parts of Central California. The upper level high still remaining in the same spot, generally in the vicinity of Dallas-Fort Worth, 594 decameters, fairly strong, and we do see those areas of positive vorticity associated with a weak shortwave trough here across central Canada by Tuesday evening. Additionally, we see the upper level low still slowly working its way over into the Gulf of Maine by Tuesday evening with positive vorticity values, and there is Hurricane Fiona. The only thing I want to ask tonight is, where is Shrek? If Fiona is out here, Shrek's got to be somewhere close by. Okay. I'm kidding. I just had to say it. And when you have Fiona, we got to mention Shrek. All right, moving on now to the 700 millibar vertical velocity and heights forecast for the 20th of September, Tuesday. The 20th, Tuesday morning here on the left. Generally showing a similar pattern at 700 millibars or 10,000 feet. We're looking for shortwave troughs and ridges. And we're also looking for these green and blue and yellow and maroonish colors. This is going to indicate where we have positive vertical velocity values, and where you have positive vertical velocity values, that means the air is rising at this particular level of the atmosphere. So Tuesday morning, similar story. We have that closed low just sitting there off the Central California coast down to 700 millibars, and we do have a shortwave ridge. Generally we have upper level high at 700 millibars over parts of Arkansas, stretching eastward to the Memphis, Tennessee area by Tuesday morning. We do have that shortwave ridge poking up from that upper level closed high into parts of the upper Midwest. We do see a shortwave trough across parts of New England with positive vertical velocity values generally over the northwestern Atlantic Ocean just off the New England coast. And there is Hurricane Fiona once more. Looking at the 700 millibar vertical velocity heights forecast for Tuesday evening here on the right, that upper level low just sitting there still, not much to push it along. The main jet stream axis is just not able to get this far south right now, and so it just sits there over a long period of time, eventually undergoing further decay. We do see a sprawling upper level high across parts of the south central United States by Tuesday evening, and then we do see the shortwave trough slowly pivoting off to the east. And there is Hurricane Fiona generally showing up at 700 millibar. This is a reflection of Fiona. Looking at the 850 millibar wind speed forecast for Tuesday, 20 September, Tuesday morning on the left, showing that stronger pocket of wind energy around the upper level closed low off the central California coast. Additionally, there's some more energy down the south, just to the southwest of Baja, the tip of Baja, and that's associated with a tropical system. Generally across the central plains, we have some stronger southwesterly winds that are blowing from Kansas into northwest Missouri, into Iowa, northwestern Illinois, and into parts of Wisconsin. Now, strong southwesterlies at 850 millibars or 5,000 feet, and then there's going to be a surface front, generally in this location, a fairly strong cold front, with stronger northwesterly winds pouring from the Canadian prairies into the northern plains states south of the U.S.-Canadian border by Tuesday morning. Now let's see what happens over here on the forecast for Tuesday evening. We still see the wind energy wrapping around the west side of this closed low off the coast of California. We still have a lot of wind energy from the northwest, wind speeds at 850 millibars in excess of 25 to 30 knots across the central prairies of Canada into North Dakota and Minnesota. And then ahead of that front, we got strong southwesterly winds across parts of northern Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, into parts of lower Michigan. Additionally, we find some stronger wind speeds from the northeast at 850 millibars, generally around the upper level high. That is blowing into the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. And there are your wind speeds of Hurricane Fiona at 850 millibars on the bottom right portion of this graphic on the right, showing those winds at 850 millibars really, really strong, especially north of the center of circulation on the order of 64 knots plus. Looking at the surface wind forecast for Tuesday, 20 September 2022, look down the left here is Tuesday morning. Strongest winds will remain offshore the California coast with this upper level closed low. In addition, you do have some pockets of stronger surface winds across the Canadian prairies into parts of eastern Montana and the Dakotas. Additionally, there's some stronger wind energy at the surface from the southwest here ahead of this closed low in the Gulf of Maine. So over the northwestern Atlantic, looking a little bit choppy, the waters. In addition, there is Hurricane Fiona, the bottom right-hand portion of the graphic here on the left, showing the wind speeds at the surface on the northeastern and northern sides of the hurricane in excess, looks like it's in excess of 60 to 70 knots at this point. Now looking at the graphic on the right, the forecast for Tuesday evening, stronger winds remain off the California coast, and you do have this pocket of stronger winds at the surface from the Canadian prairies, blowing from the northwest down into parts of the Dakotas behind a surface cold front. Winds remain southwesterly ahead of the cold front into Iowa and Illinois. How about the precipitation forecast for Tuesday, 20 September? If you got travel plans, here's the forecast for Tuesday morning. Anywhere you see orange and maroon colors, that's heavy precip. The green generally indicates precipitation, rain. We do see some scattered showers in the parts of California on Tuesday morning. You've got travel plans out in that direction. Additionally, we see some pockets of showers across parts of southeastern Minnesota into Wisconsin, and then off the Atlantic into the western Atlantic area. And additionally, we still see some fairly decent rain there along the Maine coast on Tuesday morning. There's your rain associated with Hurricane Fiona in the bottom right. By Tuesday evening, we do see the thickness packing. We get a tighter thickness gradient here across the northern plains. That's going to indicate that we have a stronger cold front that is right in this general area where my red dot is, across Lake Superior, northern Wisconsin, into southern Minnesota, just north of the Omaha, Nebraska area by Tuesday evening. You see the tight thickness packing here. That's going to indicate some significant changes are coming to the eastern United States as this front continues to move towards the southeast over the next, basically between now and Friday of this week. Additionally, if you have plans to travel on Friday evening up into parts of New England, it could be wet. Scattered showers across Vermont, New Hampshire, up Interstate 95 into the Boston area, as well as the parts of Maine. Meanwhile, this is the location, in the bottom right, of Hurricane Fiona, generally north of Hispaniola at this time. Looking at the forecast high temperatures for Tuesday, 20 September 2022, very hot temperatures. Look at this. Ahead of that cold front, we've got high temperatures going all the way up to the low 90s across parts of the Midwest, including Iowa, Nebraska. Look at this, Omaha near 96 tomorrow. All the way down into Kansas, we have triple-digit heats into Kansas, the Wichita area, as well as Oklahoma City at 97 tomorrow for a forecast high. Texas, upper 90s. Louisiana, upper 90s. Mississippi, Alabama, upper 90s. And that heat goes all the way into the show-me state of Missouri, with high temperatures between 95 and 100 degrees, extending into the southern part of Illinois. Look at St. Louis tomorrow, 97, ahead of that cold front. Additionally, we see a little bit of heat going up the I-95 corridor, up the eastern seaboard, with the highs generally in the middle to upper 80s for parts of Virginia. And then as you go down south on Interstate 95, temperatures progressively become warmer, highs into the lower 90s by the time you get down into Georgia along Interstate 95. Florida, the Sunshine State, going to be ranging between 85 and 90 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow. Cooler temperatures are going to be found across Montana. Highs are only going to be in the lower 60s, and even parts of the higher elevations of Montana, highs will only be in the 50s tomorrow. This is a sign of things to come. There's going to be some big changes going on, and I'll show you those here in a moment. We look at the forecast low temperatures for Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, the 21st of September, getting chilly behind that cold front. By Wednesday morning, you see a lot of 40s for low temperatures across the Pacific Northwest, Montana, Wyoming. Higher elevations of Colorado are going to be down into the 30s by Wednesday morning. Look at the warmth surging ahead of this cold front. Low temperatures for Wednesday morning are going to be in the low 70s as far north as Des Moines, Iowa. And then they extend all the way down, lows in the 70s, all the way down to Houston, Texas, over to New Orleans area, and then also in the Florida Peninsula. We do see low temperatures, close to 70 degrees for parts of the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, as well as the mid to upper 60s across the Charlotte area. Now, this is what I was talking about. Much cooler temperatures are expected for the eastern United States, the 23rd to the 24th of September. These are temperature anomalies or departures from normal on the European run today. Generally, these are in degrees Fahrenheit. So this is, by the way, the map on the left here. This is indicating, this is the Friday afternoon time period, this Friday, the 23rd of September. And look at all these green and blue colors. This indicates well below normal temperatures from Iowa, working our way along I-80 through Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania to the New Jersey coast, up into New England, Interstate 95, Interstate 81, New York State, as well as down to Interstate 95, into Virginia, Interstate 70 as well. All the way to Kansas City area, Interstate 64 in southern Illinois. A very cool air mass is going to descend. Now, this is going to be one of the first taste of fall across the Midwest to the East Coast for this Friday. So get ready. It's going to cool down significantly. There's going to be some hotter temperatures ahead of that strong cold front between now and Thursday. But then by Friday, this is what you get. Now, if we look at Saturday, the 24th, this Saturday, the 24th of September, we see the coolest temperature anomalies shift closer to the eastern seaboard, to the east coast. Generally, we're ranging from 10 to 12 degrees below normal from South Carolina northward to Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York State, and then New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island by Saturday. Looking at the latest tropical update, just wanted to show you the latest track forecast from the National Hurricane Center on Hurricane Fiona this evening, generally showing the system reaching a major hurricane status, winds in excess of 111 miles per hour sustained by Tuesday evening. And this is the overall track of this major hurricane, Fiona, as the storm moves towards the north and then eventually makes that turn to the northeast. Bermuda's got to be watching out for this. It's a very dangerous system, so hopefully it will miss the Bermuda area. But this is definitely something that Bermuda's got to keep a very close eye on. Looking at the graphic on the left here, this shows something that we have to always keep in mind as we head into October. Anywhere where you see the bright orange colors, this indicates the highest probability of tropical cyclone development. And what you'll notice here is a theme. October features tropical cyclone development much closer to United States territories. And then these white arrows show the general tracks or progression of these cyclones. Generally from the Caribbean, up and along the eastern coast of the United States. Sometimes they go a little bit further out to sea, depending on where we got the upper troughs in mid-latitudes and where we've got the strong cold fronts that come off the coast. So we have to keep a close eye on this. You know, the United States has been very fortunate to this point. We haven't seen any major hurricane activity as far as landfall into our area, but we have to keep an eye on this, especially the Caribbean. In fact, some of the longer-range models are indicating some sort of development down here. Generally, as we head towards the last week of September, the last few days of September, Some of the models have that system going into the northeastern Gulf towards the Florida Panhandle. Other models show it clipping Florida and then going up the East Coast. So keep your eyes up. Don't forget, we are still in hurricane season. Here's a look at the extended upper air forecast. I just wanted to show you what things are looking like at the 500 millibar level. I'll show you the Pacific North American forecast here in a minute. But generally, this is for next Monday, the 26th of September. Notice this upper level ridge, the shortwave ridge. There's a strong upper level high situated over the desert southwest, and this ridge extends pretty far to the north, all the way up into British Columbia and Western Canada. And what goes up must come down. And so you see a general pattern of a trough. Much cooler temperatures are associated with troughs, generally across the Great Lakes area down to the Ohio Valley to the Mid-Atlantic for next Monday. And also notice this particular feature in the upper right-hand portion of the image on the left. That is a very strong upper level ridge associated with a blocking high over the North Atlantic into Greenland. That is generally associated with a negative North Atlantic oscillation. So whenever you get this strong ridging situated where this is, that tends to lead to a buckling of the jet stream and a dip in that jet, and much cooler temperatures come from far northern areas into the U.S. So interesting feature here at 500 millibars. Looking at the graphic on the right, now we're moving ahead to Tuesday the 27th of September, next Tuesday. The ridge begins to weaken somewhat as we see a shortwave trough start pivoting in towards the Pacific Northwest. But we still feature that main area of troughiness across eastern Canada with that trough axis extending into the Mid-Atlantic states. So looking to be fairly cool. The Mid-Atlantic area particularly is going to have very hot temperatures for Tuesday the 20th of September, Wednesday the 21st of September, even Thursday the 22nd of September, the first day of fall. Going to be very warm right ahead of that strong cold front. And then starting Friday, that's when the pattern changes somewhat. Let's take a look at the teleconnections forecast, generally showing you the latest European deterministic model forecast showing a climb or a rise in the Pacific North American pattern forecast, and what a positive PNA. So we have positive values of PNA right here, forecast. What that leads to is this: a strong upper level ridge along the west coast and a deep trough in the east. Hottest temperatures associated with the ridge over the west, coolest temperatures associated with this trough over the east. So something to keep an eye on. And then finally, to end tonight's video, here is a local look at the Hampton Roads, Virginia forecast the next 7 days. Generally looking hot. Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, more of the same of what we've seen the last couple days. High temperatures between 85. I would not be shocked if I had to bump this one up a few degrees to 89, close to 90 degrees by Wednesday. Remaining very hot. We can see some isolated PM thunderstorms on Thursday ahead of a strong cold front. And then look at the temperature drop between Thursday and Friday. 87 to 73, a 14-degree drop. We do have high pressure building in from Canada by Friday, and it's going to be quite breezy, too, in the morning, by the way, on Friday morning. But you will notice a considerable difference to the air mass on Friday morning as you get ready to go to work. Mostly sunny and cool temperatures, high only 73. Temperatures dropping into the low to mid-50s by Saturday morning across Hampton Roads. Slight recovery on Saturday to the mid-70s. Absolutely gorgeous Saturday with high pressure settling overhead, the wind slackening, the pressure gradient weakening. And then we have a couple warm days in the low 80s before the next strong cold front comes in late Monday. And that's going to drop the temperatures again Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So lots of excitement on the way. We're starting to hit that time of year where we're going to have so much more transitional and changeable weather, transitional air masses. And don't forget, our teleconnections discussion videos will be returning in October, along with my official winter outlook forecast video. Can't wait to share that with you. Again, hopefully you really learn a lot of great information from my videos. All right, so until next time, everybody, take care and God bless. I wish everybody a pleasant evening.